flash y'all inside because we thought it was going to rain. When have you all been at anything that we do that's outdoors and everybody worries, except Keizer, because God is always on our side. We never get rain. So I knew we'd be okay. I have written remarks, and if you know me, you know I usually don't have written remarks, but Jackie Moyer is the boss, and she said there's things I absolutely have to say. So first of all, let me just welcome our honored guests, community members, Keizer family members. I understand, I don't know the exact count, over 100 Keizer family members are with us today. Raise your hand. Look at this. That's right on cue. You're saying hey. Okay,
What a
so
great
let me
historic
just say,
day. It's my honor to be here to commemorate and celebrate Thomas D. Keizer. What a great individual. What a legacy he's left. It is gratifying to see a big part of today is really Oregon history. And it's important. Oregon history is very, very important. We get to celebrate that today with the unveiling of the statue. We will see a man that has given a lot. It will be a lasting tribute to a man of vision and integrity. He founded this community, but was a forefather of our current National Guard when he formed the Oregon Rangers and was chosen as its company commander on March 23rd, 1844.
South shores of Washington and the north shores of California, so welcome here to the ceded lands of Grand Ronde. You know, they touched on ancestors and your past and your history, and so it's a wonderful, heartfelt meaning to me that all of the ancestors of Mr. Keizer are here today. As a tribal member and 4 generations of tribal council of the Grand Ronde, I know what it means to have history and your ancestors and remember them and to be able to tell your story and to tell your story for future and 7 generations on, because as a tribal person and Indian people, that's what we do. That is our culture. That is our history, and to let people know that. I want to give a big hand to the volunteers and the Keizer people and all of the people here that made this possible today, because I live in 2 places. I get to live in Grand Ronde and I get to live here in Keizer. I have a residence here in Keizer, and I love being called a Keizermite, and I enjoy the city, and if I don't have to go out of it, I'm really happy about that. So it's an honor to be here today and to recognize the culture of the people that are here in Keizer and recognize that. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for asking me to be here and speak. Thank you.
Here we go. Teeny Keizer. Teeny's going to give us a few words here, but as he's coming, I just want to let you know that there's a couple of years of preparation going into this event, and it followed by months of planning, weeks of work, days of setup.
That is some fancy farm, I'll tell you what. I've got to hold a lot of hay. Mark, this little two-year-old on her land. She's all right. She was a very nice lady, little Pew. Her boys were a bit touchy. It's interesting, if the Keizers had not recrossed the Willamette River, the Pew family would have been the predominant family here. We wouldn't have been called Keizer, would we? We'd be called, what, Pew? Maybe Pewville? Or Pewmopolis, maybe, something like that. I understand you've got a statue here of me today. Isn't that something? I am really flattered.
I'd like to say thank you very much for having me here. It was an honor to do this piece. In every project I do, I get a chance to meet a lot of great people. And it's been a super committee. I've worked with many hundreds of people at this point on every project. But this committee has been really a nice bunch. I've really enjoyed my time with them. And be sorry for it to end. I love creating sculpture, but this has probably been one of my favorite sculptures. Thomas Keizer was an interesting character, but truly I love horses. And one of my first horses was actually part Morgan, and I love that horse. And to do a Morgan horse statue was really special. The people that own the Morgan stud that I used are here today. Lisa and Jude, wave your hand. They drove all the way to Montana to watch this. Show up at 5:30 at my studio in Montana this summer, drop off the horse, and come back late that night, pick him up. The horse would stand out there and eat granola bars and carrots. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Little town Montana, and everybody in town would periodically stop by the studio and watch it progress. One old guy thought that the Morgan horse looked a little. He'd be perfect if he just looked more like a thoroughbred. Another guy stopped and he said, you know, he'd be perfect if he just looked more like a quarter horse. Couldn't please them all. I've enjoyed this project. I hope that for many years you will enjoy this in your community. As far as working on the sculpture, there's another young man here today that I used for the model for Thomas. Kevin, are you around here someplace? Yeah. He doesn't look like you without the beard, but the facial structure is right. I always try to find a good body type, and so anyway, Kevin was the guy. Let's get on with the unveiling.
Unveiling here is going to be an athletic event. So, you're the cheerleader.
Okay, so, yeah, exactly. It takes a little bit, there's a lot of sharp corners and edges, and so we can't just pull a string and magically he'll appear. So I'm having to talk to y'all as we go through it to tell you what they're doing. So, I'm ready, Garrett. I'm ready. You're the one. Okay, so here we go. You know, someone ought to time this and see how long it takes to unveil a Thomas Duff Keizer. That could be a trivia question for our kids in the years to come. And of course, the back end is the first that we see. I hope that's not representative of Keizer and whole. Isn't this great? Look how tall. And apparently it's going to be able to be climbed. And there we look, that wasn't that bad. We're almost there. One last little and cut out. Now, if that isn't perfect placement,
Folks, come on up. Come on up.
Excuse me. Slip by.
Should it face that way? Should it face the other way towards the city hall? And we came up with the idea that we probably didn't want the south end facing Shimano. So this is what we came up with. On behalf of Keizer family, we'd like to have two Keizer and say a few words. Dan and Lincoln say a few words.
We thank you, City of Keizer, for really including us and putting on such a wonderful presentation today. I'd like to especially thank the statue committee. The people I work with most are Jerry Reed. It's amazing to find someone who knows more about your family than any other Keizer.